First, All Might, the symbol of peace. The anchor of the entire series appears immediately in the first chapter and episode. Toshinori Yagi, known globally as All Might, is not just a hero. He is the deterrent that held criminal society in check for decades. His quirk, One for All, is a stockpiling power transferred through generations, granting him strength and speed that defies physics. However, by the time we meet him, he is a fading sun, limited to maintaining his muscular form for only a few hours a day, due to a grievous injury inflicted by All for 1 years prior. Mechanically, All Might functions as the absolute ceiling of power in this universe. His smashes change weather patterns, but his narrative purpose is to decline. Throughout the early arcs, he desperately searches for a successor, choosing the quirkless Izuku Midoriya. His timeline is a countdown, from the USJ attack where he pushes past his limits, to the Camino Ward incident where he burns out the last embers of One for All to defeat All for One. His era ends in the middle of the series. The aftermath of his retirement is the central conflict of the story, a power vacuum that villains rush to fill, and a burden that falls onto unprepared shoulders. He survives the series, not as a combatant, but as a living legacy, guiding the next generation from the sidelines. Second, Endeavor, the Flame Hero. Enji Todoroki appears early in the series as a looming antagonistic figure, but his true narrative importance begins the moment All Might retires. Possessing the Hellflame quirk, he can generate and manipulate intense fire, allowing for flight and incineration. For decades, he sat at the number 2 spot, consumed by an inferiority complex so toxic it destroyed his family. He engaged in quirk marriages to breed a successor capable of surpassing All Might, resulting in the abuse of his wife and children, particularly Shoto and the eldest son, Toya. His arc is the most drastic in the series. Following the Camino Ward incident, he becomes the number 1 hero by default, a title he feels he didn't earn. This sparks a painful redemption journey. He is forced to confront his past sins while holding up a crumbling society. In the pro-hero arc, he barely survives a battle with Ahaya and Nomu, signaling to the world that the new symbol is human and bleeds. During the Paranormal Liberation War, his past comes for his throat when the villain Dabi is revealed to be his dead son, Toya. Endeavor ends the series physically scarred and stripped of his ego, dedicating his life to atoning to his family rather than seeking glory. Third, Hawks, the Wing Hero. Introduced in the latter half of the series during the pro-hero arc, Keigo Takami is the number 2 hero and the antithesis of the traditional strongman. His quirk, Fierce Wings, grants him red telekinetic feathers used for flight, high-speed combat, and precise rescue operations. He is the product of the Hero Public Safety Commission, raised as a child soldier and spy to be the perfect cynical tool of the state. Hawk serves as the bridge between the light and the dark. He infiltrates the Paranormal Liberation Front, playing the role of a double agent. He is efficient and ruthless, famously executing the villain twice because the man's cloning ability posed an apocalyptic threat, a moment that haunts the narrative. His story is one of dirty hands. He does the things All Might never had to do so that society can sleep at night. In the final war, he loses his quirk to All for One, but survives, eventually taking on a leadership role in the restructuring of Japan's hero system, proving his heroism wasn't in his wings, but in his pragmatic resolve. Fourth, Best Jeanist, the Fiber Hero. Tsunagu Hakamata, the number 3 hero, is introduced as a mentor figure during the internship arcs. His quirk, Fiber Master, allows him to manipulate threads in any fabric, requiring immense technical skill and study. He represents the ideal of heroism as a discipline. He takes the volatile Bakugo under his wing, attempting to teach him elegance and public conduct. Jeanist is a survivor. At Camino Ward, he takes a direct hit from All for One that would have vaporized anyone else, surviving only due to his reflexively manipulating his own clothes to pull him away. He vanishes for a significant portion of the mid-story, faking his death as part of Hawks' cover story to infiltrate the villains. He returns dramatically during the Paranormal Liberation War to bind the behemoth Gigantomachia. He serves as the reliable tactical leader on the field when Endeavor is compromised, holding the line until the very end. Fifth, Edgeshot, the ninja hero. Shinya Kamihara, the number 4 hero, is a master of stealth and speed. His quirk, Fold Body, allows him to manipulate the thinness of his body, transforming into razor-sharp threads that can pierce enemies or slip through cracks. Leader of the Lurkers team, he represents the silent, precise side of heroics. While often in the background, Edgeshot acts as the tip of the spear during raids. During the Hideout raid arc, he is crucial in securing the villains. His defining moment comes in the final war against Shigaraki. With Bakugo's heart destroyed, Edgeshot uses his ultimate technique to enter Bakugo's body, thinning himself to the molecular level to act as surgical sutures, effectively sacrificing his own lifespan and physical form to restart the young hero's heart. He survives, but at a heavy physical cost, embodying the ethos that the old generation must give everything for the new. 6th, Mirko, the Rabbit Hero. Rumi Usagiyama, the number 5 hero, bursts into the story late, just before the war arc. Her quirk, Rabbit, grants her insane leg strength, hearing, and instincts. She is a solo operator who rejects the team-up culture of modern heroes, believing only in her own strength. Mirko is the MVP of the raid on Dr. Garaki's laboratory. She charges in alone, tearing through multiple high-end nomus simultaneously. The violence of her arc is notable. She loses an arm and sustains horrific damage, but refuses to stop kicking, successfully smashing the stasis tank holding Shigaraki. Her philosophy is to live every day so she dies with no regrets. In the final war, she fights with prosthetic limbs, continuing to throw herself at Shigaraki and all for one with suicidal bravery, buying critical time for the protagonist. 7th, Crust, the Shield Hero. The number 6. Hero creates hexagonal shields from his body. He is a tragic figure of the paranormal liberation war. An emotional and vocal hero, he participates in the raid on the hospital. When Shigaraki awakens and unleashes a wave of decay that crumbles the city, Crust fights to the last second. He spots Aizawa being targeted by a high-end Nomu and realizes the teacher is essential to stopping Shigaraki. Crust uses his shield to sever the Nomu's hold on Aizawa, pushing the teacher to safety while the decay wave consumes him. He dies with a smile, a pure example of self-sacrifice. 8th, Kamui Woods, the Wood Hero. Shinji Nishia, number 7, is one of the first heroes seen in episode 1. His quirk, Arbor, allows him to grow wood from his body to bind enemies or rescue civilians. A member of the Lurkers, he represents the working-class hero, steady, reliable, and constantly rising in the ranks. He is instrumental in the Camino Ward raid and fights on the front lines of every major conflict, often acting as crowd control. He survives the series, a testament to consistency. 9th, Wash, the Laundry Hero. The number 8 hero appears to be a mascot, a washing machine with human limbs, but is a powerhouse rescue specialist. His quirk creates bubbles that can lift heavy loads or sanitize wounds. While often used for comic relief, Wash proves his worth during the war arcs by managing massive evacuations and using his bubbles to suspend civilians above the decay waves. He survives, proving that odd quirks can save lives. 10th, Ryukyu, the Dragoon Hero. Ryuko Tatsuma, number 10, can transform into a massive dragon. She is humble and soft-spoken, often hiring female interns like Uraraka and Tsuyu. She features heavily in the Shiha Saikai arc, using her brute strength to hold down dangerous Yakuza members. During the war arc, she acts as a tank, wrestling with Shigaraki and providing air support. She suffers grievous injuries to her hands, but survives, remaining a pillar of the hero community. 11th, Gang Orca, the Orca Hero. Ranked number 12, formerly number 10, Kugo Sakamata looks like a villain but is a strict disciplinarian. His quirk gives him the attributes of a killer whale, including sonic attacks that paralyze opponents. He shines during the provisional license exam, acting as the villain to test the students. In the final war, he leads a squad of mutants and proves vital in the containment of Toga's chaotic Sadman's parade, using his sonic waves to disrupt the clones. 12th, Eraserhead, the Erasure Hero. Shota Aizawa is the homeroom teacher of Class 1A and an underground hero who avoids the media. His quirk, Erasure, allows him to nullify the quirk of anyone he looks at, making him the ultimate counter to powerful villains. He is the tactical backbone of the hero forces. From the USJ incident where he is battered protecting his students, to the final war, Aizawa is constantly targeted because he is the only one who can level the playing field. In the final battle against Shigaraki, he cuts off his own leg to prevent a quirk-destroying bullet from hitting him, and even after losing an eye, acts as the anchor for the containment team alongside Monoma. He is the series' definition of duty over glory. 13th, Present Mike, the voice hero. Hisashi Yamada, Aizawa's old friend and colleague, uses his voice quirk to generate sonic screams. While loud and flamboyant, he carries the emotional weight of the Shirakumo subplot, the discovery that their dead friend was turned into the Nomu Kurogiri. He fights alongside Aizawa in the final war, his voice serving as both a weapon and a desperate plea to reach the friend trapped inside the monster. 14th, Midnight, the R-rated hero. Nemuri Kayama is a veteran hero and teacher whose somnambulous quirk puts enemies to sleep. She serves as a mentor and judge for the students. Her arc ends in tragedy during the Paranormal Liberation War. While trying to stop the colossal Gigantomachia, she is knocked from the air and ambushed by villains in the forest. In her final moments, she radios orders to her students, prioritizing their safety and strategy over her own life. Her off-screen death serves as a brutal wake-up call to the students that war takes the people they love. 15th, Gran Torino, the Jet Hero, a retired hero and All Might's former teacher. His jet quirk allows him to bounce off surfaces at blinding speeds. He is the one who teaches Midoriya how to actually move with One for All. Despite his age and senility act, he is sharp and brutal. He survives a gut-wrenching impalement by Shigaraki in the final war, clinging to life to see the peace restored, representing the tenacity of the very first generation of quirk users. 16th, Sir Nighteye, the Foresight hero. All Might's former sidekick and a distinct contrast to All Might's optimism. His quirk allows him to see a person's future. He predicted All Might's gruesome death, leading to their estrangement. He plays a central role in the Shiha Saikai arc, leading the raid to save Eri. He is mortally wounded by Overhaul and dies in the hospital, using his final breaths to tell Mirio Tagata that the future can be changed, finally letting go of his fatalistic worldview. 17th, Fat Gum, the BMI Hero. A round, cheerful hero whose fat absorbs kinetic impact. He acts as a shield for his interns, Kirishima and Amajiki. In the Overhaul arc, he burns all his fat reserves to survive a spear-wielding villain, revealing a muscular form underneath for a counterattack. He represents the protective, fatherly side of heroism, surviving the wars by constantly putting his body between the enemy and the children. 18th, Mint Lady, the Giant Hero. Yu Takayama starts the series as a vanity-obsessed rookie who steals glory from others. Her quirk allows her to grow to huge sizes. Her arc is subtle but powerful. By the time of the Paranormal Liberation War, she has matured into a warrior. She throws her giant body against Gigantomachia, clinging to the monster's legs and being dragged through the dirt to slow him down. She transitions from a fame seeker to a true heavyweight defender. 19th, the Wild Wild Pussycats, a 4-person rescue team specializing in mountain operations. Mandalay, Telepathy, Pixie Bob, Earthflow, Tiger, Pliabody, and Ragdoll, Search. They act as mentors during the forest training camp. Tragedy strikes when Ragdoll is kidnapped and has her quirk stolen by All for One, leaving her powerless. The team remains active, however, with Ragdoll continuing in a support role, showcasing that being a hero isn't just about the quirk. 20th, Manual, the normal hero Masaki Mizushima, a hero with a weak water control quirk. He is best known for mentoring Tenya Ida during the Stain arc, trying to keep the boy from seeking vengeance. In the final war, he proves that rank doesn't matter. He physically stands beside Aizawa, using his water to constantly moisten Aizawa's eyes so the Erasure hero doesn't have to blink. Without this low-ranked hero's support, Shigaraki would have wiped out the heroes instantly. 21st, Cementoss, the Cement Hero. Ken Ishiyama, the literature teacher at UA, is a powerhouse of battlefield control. His quirk allows him to manipulate existing cement on contact. While often seen in a teaching capacity, his combat value is immense. During the Paranormal Liberation War, he acts as a one-man fortress. When the villain Geten attempts to freeze the heroes, Cementoss counters by constantly reshaping the city infrastructure, turning the battlefield into a shifting maze of walls and pillars. He survives the war, albeit with significant injuries, proving that environmental control is just as lethal as raw power. 22nd, 13, the Space Hero. Anan Kurose is a rescue specialist and UA teacher whose quirk Black Hole can disintegrate anything at the atomic level. She is pivotal in the USJ incident, protecting the students from the League of Villains, where she is severely injured by her own power reflected back at her. Throughout the series, she is a faceless entity in a spacesuit until the final war. In a desperate move to stop the villains, she is forced to disengage her suit, revealing her face for the first time while unleashing a massive vacuum attack. She survives, having lost an arm, symbolizing the permanent scars left on the educators who had to become soldiers. 23rd, Snipe, the Gun Hero. A UA teacher with the appearance of a cowboy and a homing quirk that allows him to lock onto targets. He is the hero who arguably saved everyone at the USJ. While All Might battled the Nomu, it was Snipe who arrived with the backup squad and systematically shot Shigaraki Tamura in all 4 limbs from a massive distance, forcing the villains to retreat. He represents the necessary lethal force option in hero society, always present when precise takedowns are required. 24th, Vlad King, the Blood Hero. Sekijiro Kan is the homeroom teacher for Class 1B. His quirk allows him to manipulate his own blood after it leaves his body, hardening it or using it to trap enemies. He is the counterpart to Aizawa, protective but much more encouraging and hot-blooded. During the Forest Training Camp arc, he single-handedly pins down a clone of Dabi using his blood. In the final war, he leads the Class B students and fights on the front lines, proving that Class B's leadership is just as capable as Class A's. 25th, Recovery Girl, the youthful heroine Chio Shuzenji is the backbone of UA High. Her heal quirk accelerates a person's natural healing ability by using their own stamina. She is the reason Deku can function as a protagonist. Without her, his arms would have been permanently disabled in Season 1. She serves as a moral compass, often scolding All Might for pushing Deku too hard. She remains active through the end, patching up the soldiers of the final war, though she constantly reminds them that she cannot cure death. 26th, Rocklock, the Lockdown. Hero Ken Takagi is a pro-hero introduced in the Shiha Saikai arc. His quirk allows him to freeze any non-living object in place. Initially, he serves as a skeptic, doubting the students' involvement in dangerous raids. However, after witnessing Deku and the others fight, he gains respect for the new generation. He is injured by Toga during the raid, but returns for the final war, defending the floating UA fortress. His arc represents the skepticism of the adult world, slowly accepting that the youth are ready to take the reins. 27th, Gunhead, the Battle Hero. A combat specialist who looks terrifying, but is actually friendly and prone to cute mannerisms. He is essential to Uraraka's development. During her internship, he teaches her gunhead martial arts, shifting her from a pure support caster to a close-quarters combatant. This training saves her life repeatedly, particularly when she fights Toga. Gunhead remains a steady pro-presence throughout the series, surviving the wars. 28th, Fourth Kind, the Chivalrous Hero. A four-armed hero who mentors Kirishima and Tetsu. He is a strict disciplinarian who focuses on community service and manners. While he doesn't have a massive combat highlight, his impact is thematic. He teaches the students that heroism is 90% boring, unglamorous labor and public service, grounding the hot-headed rookies in reality. 29th, Death Arms, the Punching Hero. A hero with super strength who appears in Episode 1, scolding Midoriya during the Sludge villain incident. His story ends on a darker note. During the chaos following the First War, the public turns against heroes. Broken by the criticism and the overwhelming pressure, Death Arms retires, admitting he can no longer handle the hate. He represents the collapse of the celebrity hero system. When the applause stopped, he couldn't find the will to fight, contrasting sharply with the true heroes who stayed when things got ugly. However, in the final battle, he is seen rushing to help civilians, proving that the hero instinct remained even after the title was gone. 30th, the international and vigilante connection. While the story focuses on Japan, we briefly see Captain Celebrity from the Vigilantes spin-off, and Star and Stripe, the #1 American hero. Star and Stripe appears solely to fight Shigaraki. Her quirk, New Order, allows her to impose rules on reality. She sacrifices her life in a battle that nearly destroys the villain, stripping him of several quirks and buying the Japanese hero's time. She represents the global stakes of the conflict. 31st, the legacy of One for All. We must briefly note the predecessors who were heroes in their own right, particularly Nana Shimura, the 7th user and All Might's mentor. Though long dead, her spirit and memory drive the plot. She was a hero who smiled to reassure others, a philosophy she passed to All Might, who passed it to Deku. Her decision to float her own son away to keep him safe from All for One inadvertently created the villain Shigaraki, serving as the tragic origin point for the entire series conflict. Final analysis: the shift in hero society. When we look at this roster, a clear pattern emerges. The series begins in the era of All Might, where one godlike figure solved every problem. The other heroes were essentially cleanup crews or celebrities competing for market share. But as the story progresses to the final war, the nature of heroism changes. The victory isn't achieved by a new All Might punching harder. It is achieved by Endeavor burning his ego, Hawks dirtying his hands, Izawa cutting off his own limb, Manual moistening eyes, and the students stepping up to fill the gaps. The pro-hero system collapses, but heroism survives. The story of these characters is the story of a society learning that peace isn't something you're given by a symbol. It is something you build together, one save at a time. This concludes the deep dive into the pro-heroes of My Hero Academia.